What a lovely high-rise condo you have. Where is it located? Oh, why should I tell you that, Maria? I don't share personal information with just anyone, you know. I was at a loss for words, just standing there with my mouth open. Lately, my feelings towards Patricia have been souring. Well, that's a strange thing to say. Aren't Patricia and I strangers? She made it clear to me once. I'm just following her words. My name is Maria, 38 years old. I used to be a flight attendant, but now I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have an 11-year-old son, James. My husband is a cargo plane pilot, and I feel blessed to have such a warm family. This year, I became a member of the PTA board. With plenty of time on my hands, I actively participate in school events and interact with the teachers. I've especially gotten to know Mr. Johnson, the class teacher, quite well. The PTA president is Patricia. She's 45, has a 12-year-old son, and is a single parent. We've known each other since James was 6 as fellow parenting peers. She seems to be dating someone now. There are 8 other board members. Susan and Dorothy have been friends with Patricia for a long time. The other 6 became friends with us after joining the board. This happened during our first board meeting. That concludes our first meeting. As mentioned earlier, there's a dinner with the teachers afterwards. I believe everyone is attending, right? After the meeting, we went to a restaurant near the school for dinner and desserts. You know, Maria, you have great taste. I was taken aback when she said that so suddenly. What? No one's ever told me that before. Really? It's true. Your style is not too flashy, not too plain, just perfect. You show that expensive doesn't always mean better. You can even make affordable clothes look elegant. What a rude thing to say. The other board members and teachers looked at Patricia with disbelief. True, my outfit wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. To say such a thing in front of new acquaintances, well, it's not a normal thing to say regardless. What was she thinking? Well, Patricia, you look lovely too. Right, everyone? It was Mr. Johnson, James' teacher, who stepped in. Oh, Mr. Johnson, you know my taste from last year. Yes, high brands, right? Is that the case today, too? Yes, just my casual wear. Patricia works in life insurance sales. Her boyfriend is a division head at a major trading company. It seems her son is not doing too well academically. Anyway, the dinner was soured by Patricia's snide comments. Later, I had to visit the school and ran into Mr. Johnson in the hallway. Mr. Johnson, thank you for the other day. It was a big help. I didn't know what to do. I thought I had to be a hero like I was for James. Did I manage it? Not quite the hero like with James. I need more practice. Last year, James was bullied by classmates. It seemed minor, but it was insidious. Mr. Johnson encouraged and helped James overcome it. 2 months have passed since I became a PTA officer. We, the officer friends, often grab coffee or have meals together. Everyone is easy to talk to, like Susan and Dorothy, and we often bond over parenting and joking about our husbands. Today, after the regular meeting, we had a ladies-only lunch, meeting at the same restaurant as after the first meeting. The pleasant atmosphere was interrupted by Patricia. By the way, Maria, what does your husband do? Won't you tell me? We've known each other for 5 years. I had always avoided this topic, out of consideration for Patricia being a single parent. Well, he's a pilot. Patricia's eyes widened for a moment. Then she casually took a sip of coffee and said, "That's a good job. But there are different types of pilots, right?" "Yes, he's not a commercial or international pilot. He does cargo transport." "Oh, I see. Cargo transport. That's new to me. They really exist, huh?" Patricia's relief was obvious. "Yes, he says it's less stressful since he doesn't carry passengers at the bottom, but excuse me, a pilot supporting the economy." The friends around us looked back and forth between Patricia and me, their expressions saying, "Not again." Pilot salaries aren't much different between passenger and cargo flights. Patricia clearly didn't know this and must have thought cargo pilots earn less. Right, that's why we have to be creative. Wonderful. Even your outfit today. I was reaching my limit of tolerance, but I didn't want to ruin the lunch. I held back. Oh dear, I've gone back to that topic again. Sorry, I just get irritated seeing someone like you. Someone like me? What is she talking about? We've been talking for 4 years. Is this her way of stress relief? Bullying? These thoughts raced through my mind, but I couldn't find the words to retort. Maria, you might want to keep your distance from Mr. Johnson. People might get the wrong idea seeing you two in the hallway, almost as if you're inviting something. Getting too close? Inviting? That was about the other day. But I couldn't say more than that. Lately, my feelings toward Patricia have only worsened. Before becoming a PTA officer, we had normal conversations. I don't understand why she became so aggressive. My friends seem to have noticed this too and are careful not to bring up Patricia. Feeling guilty, I often find myself falling silent in the middle of conversations. Today is a regular meeting day. I ended up going to school later than usual. I wasn't late, but I usually arrive 30 minutes early to chat with friends. The wedding we attended recently was incredible. Yes, it was. A division head at a top company as the groom. No wonder it was like that. Since the door was left open, I overheard their conversation. Wondering who they were talking about, I entered the meeting room. Susan and Dorothy, noticing me, immediately stopped talking. And then I knew. Hello, was that conversation about Patricia? The two looked uncomfortable, but Susan reluctantly spoke up. Yes, last Sunday there was a grand wedding for Patricia at a luxury hotel. We were invited to the reception. Oh, really? I didn't know. You too, Dorothy? Yes. If Susan and Dorothy were invited, it seemed natural that I would be too. I've known them just as long. As I pondered how to react, Patricia entered. Now that I knew, I couldn't just stay silent. Patricia, congratulations on your marriage. Oh, thank you. You know, I was wondering why you weren't there that day. Her unexpected response left me puzzled. What? Was I invited? Of course, you had a seat at Susan and Dorothy's table, didn't you? Oh, you didn't? How could that be? Maria, I'm so sorry, really, she said, sticking out her tongue playfully. I forced a smile, masking my feelings. She never intended to invite me. The slyness of it all, I couldn't hide my disdain for Patricia's spitefulness. At the same time, I remembered James's words. Mom, when I was being bullied, I felt empty inside. That's how I felt now, I thought. A few days later, Dorothy told me at lunch that Patricia was going to Hawaii for her honeymoon. And the day before yesterday, they moved into their new house and had a party. Susan, the other officers, and I went. Maria, about that. Again, I said with a forced smile, trying to hide my discomfort, though it might have been a bit strained. Oh, how nice. Where's the new place? It's a high-rise condo. The living room is so spacious, like a suite. Just my luck. Patricia arrived with a tray in hand. Hello, may I join you? Oh, thank you. I exchanged glances with Dorothy, sipping my coffee as if to signal the end of our conversation. Nothing beats a new home. The view is fantastic. Patricia chimed in as if she overheard our conversation. Seizing the opportunity, I said, We were just talking about that. Patricia, you've moved, haven't you? Oh, didn't I mention it? Yes, I had a party the other day. It was so much fun, right, Dorothy? Yes, it was. What a lovely high-rise condo you have. Where is it located? Oh, why should I tell you that, Maria? I don't share personal information with just anyone, you know. I was speechless, just standing there. Maria, maybe we can go visit her later, huh? Dorothy seemed more flustered than anyone, but that helped me regain my composure. I was ready. Sure, Patricia and I are strangers, but we're not complete strangers, right? Oh, getting defensive, are we? What are you trying to say? If I've done anything to upset you, I apologize, but I don't recall doing such a thing. It's been since I became a PTA officer. Comments about my clothes, my husband's job, as if our family was struggling financially. I never mentioned it before, but my husband's income is not low. I don't think I deserve to be talked about as if we're poor. I spoke all this without rushing. So, what's your point? I don't understand. Excuse me. Patricia left the cafe, leaving her tray behind. You finally said it. Yes, I've decided it's not over yet. Right, Dorothy? Can you tell me the name and location of the high-rise condo? Yes, it's that one over there. Today is the last regular meeting before the long vacation. I went out more prepared than ever. Hello, everyone. The officers who were chatting all turned to look. Patricia was there too. After today's meeting, parents were giving career talks to the children. Initially, I didn't plan to participate, but after the recent incident, I decided to join. Maria, you look great. Wearing a dress today? Yes, I put in extra effort. I know that dress. It's quite a rare and expensive piece, isn't it? I bought it when I was a flight attendant in Paris. I found great stores in New York and even in Singapore. All of the officers were friendly, except for Patricia. What are you going to talk about today? Changing into something else? Yes, I decided to bring my flight attendant uniform. I was worried about fitting into it, but it worked. I thought it would be more inspiring to show the real thing. Mr. Johnson arrived. The meeting was about to start. That's great. Seeing a flight attendant up close and hearing directly from one is rare. Oh, Mr. Johnson, you shouldn't. Maria is a housewife, you know. Oh, come on, Susan. You make me sound like a pervert. Give me a break. It was the first time the officers burst into laughter like that. Then Patricia interrupted. What a misunderstanding. This isn't a fashion show. It's for educational purposes. Your comprehension is questionable, she said coldly. I had been waiting for this moment. Introducing uniforms and tools is an important part of career talks, but wearing expensive clothes to school is different. Do we need such attire for a school visit? Today, I'm undoubtedly the odd one out. School is a place for children's lives, not to show off parents' wealth. Patricia, perhaps you're not familiar with the word common sense. The officers chuckled. Mr. Johnson looked down, clearly holding back his laughter. Patricia glared at me and pulled out her mobile phone from her bag. Then she quickly glanced at her phone screen. Looking down and busily operating her phone, she suddenly looked up and said, Oh dear, I have an urgent matter to attend to. It's a shame, as it's an important meeting. Excuse me, Mr. Johnson. Goodbye. Patricia left the meeting room, but her calm tone made someone say, That's got to be a lie. This might have shattered Patricia's pride, but I had one more in store. On the first Sunday of February, I was on the top floor of a high-rise condo in James' school area. This condo is part of a trio of buildings. All of them are 40 floors above ground and 5 below. Even the cheapest apartments are $100,000, and penthouses exceed $2 million. I own these high-rise condos. My dad, a wealthy man, built them under my name. Soon, we will be moving there. My husband and I did a final check of the apartment, then set the moving day for the following Sunday and booked it through a mover's website. Now, time to make the arrangements. I texted a chef I know to confirm the date and time. After arranging the food, I invited all the officers except Patricia to my housewarming party. Please, bring your families. On the party day, most families attended. It's amazing, my first time in a penthouse, but I'm shocked. Maria is the owner. Really, it's more than twice the size of Patricia's. Too bad she couldn't see it. I thought it would have been rude since I haven't shown it to her. That's so like you, Maria. We took a group photo before everyone left. I went down to the entrance to see off Dorothy and Susan. We ended up chatting and walked outside. Then we ran into Patricia. Our eyes met, and though she looked a bit surprised, she soon approached with a sly smile. Hello. Oh. Patricia, seeing all of us, opened her arms wide in surprise. Susan, what's this? Dorothy too, and even Maria? Yes, we had a party today. A party? What for? I felt it was the right moment. It was my housewarming party. Patricia looked confused and asked, What do you mean? I've moved into the penthouse of this high-rise. Patricia's eyes widened as she looked up at the almost vertical building. I spoke to her, still standing there. The view is better than yours on the 40th floor, Patricia. She glared at me, slowly. How can you have a $2 million apartment on the 40th floor, which even I couldn't reach? I avoided her gaze. You're on the 30th floor of the next building, right? I heard from Dorothy. We're similar. We are not similar. How dare you? Patricia was no longer looking at us. Patricia must have prided herself on being the top among the officers, but now her sole fortress of superiority had crumbled. With both hands cupping her cheeks, she frantically moved her eyes as if searching for something. But I was not ready to let up. I reminded myself, not yet, and said, Patricia, actually, I own all 3 of these high-rise buildings. For the first time, I understood what true astonishment meant. Patricia heard my words and stood there, her mouth agape for a moment. Probably a whirlwind of thoughts were racing through her mind. Her lingering pride, her sense of superiority were in denial of reality. Suddenly, Patricia pointed at me and said, her eyes filled with anger, an image I can't forget, "You're lying. You just want to make me look foolish and laugh at me. That's it. This can't be true. Pretending to be classy. I can't stand that about you, Maria." Laugh at her? Maybe she wasn't entirely wrong. I have my own fortress, but it's not built for comparison with others. It's there to affirm myself. Perhaps Patricia lived comparing herself to others, unaware of it. Or maybe she knew but accepted it as her reality. I decided to finish it. Patricia, it's not a lie. The name of this high-rise includes my initials. Dorothy and Susan exchanged glances, realizing the truth. See, I possess more than enough wealth. Comparing yourself to me is meaningless. Patricia probably never expected reality to hit her like this. She cupped her head with her hands and almost screamed. Lies, all lies! How can this be true? Dorothy and Susan approached Patricia, who was on the verge of collapse, to support her. I remained unsympathetic. Patricia, I don't understand why you are so flustered. Patricia shook off Dorothy and Susan's hands. With a last bit of strength, she said, Why go this far? We're fellow officers and not inviting me to the party. I had been waiting for these words. Patricia finally understood her place. How strange you are, Patricia. Aren't we just strangers? You once told me that. I just followed your words. But now you understand, right? The foolishness of humiliating me to satisfy your trivial pride. If such a behavior continues, I have my plans. Don't forget that. Patricia seemed to resign herself at this point. She didn't say a word but quickly walked away from us. Maria, is Patricia okay? Well, unlike children, we adults rarely change. I hope Patricia understands that. Everyone thinks so, but with her pride, well... Afterward, Patricia stopped appearing at the school. With the president absent, Dorothy took over the duties of the PTA meetings. But the officers came closer and more united than before. It was a long-awaited sunny day, the sky clear of any clouds. Ah, what a great feeling. A year has passed since then. Patricia no longer lives in the high-rise. After that, misfortunes befell her one after another. It was about Patricia's husband. 2 months ago, it was discovered that her 30th floor property had defaulted on its mortgage payments. Around the same time, her husband was implicated in a financial scandal with a politician. He faced disciplinary action. Unable to bear it, Patricia went through her second divorce. Now she's moved to an apartment, living off her savings. As for me, I think it's fair to say I lead a fortunate and happy life. I'm an officer in the PTA again this year. Susan, Dorothy, and I are closer than ever, with Dorothy now serving as the president. James is enjoying his studies, too. My husband will retire as a pilot this year and has been appointed as an associate professor at an aviation school, where he'll mainly teach aerodynamics starting next year. So we've planned a slightly longer, so-called vacation for next summer. It's been years since we've been to the beaches of Waikiki. Having money is certainly better than not, but I truly believe that happiness is having enough and a harmonious family life.